Hello, welcome back or welcome to my channel. It's Sunshine Lorena and I'm going to be reacting to 1 and 2 star reviews of my favourite book. I'm finally going to be looking at 1 and 2 star reviews of my favourite book, which is The Alchemist. In case you didn't know, this is my absolute favourite book, and I completely understand that not everyone has the same taste and not everyone's going to like the same books that I do. But personally, this is my favourite book. I absolutely love it. On the original copy that I had, I just kind of briefly looked over it and I was like, oh yeah, why not? And I didn't know that much about the hype because this was years ago. And I'm really glad, because sometimes I think knowing about hype just adds pressure to like it. And if you don't like it, you know. So I was glad. If you don't know, I have a collection of The Alchemist in different languages. I'm going to lift you up. Do you see that there? Okay, yeah. When I travel to new countries, I buy it in different languages. That's how much I love this book. I just like it. It started being a thing. I bought it when I was in Spain, when I lived there in that year. And then, you know, I went to Portugal and I was like, oh, let me just buy one while I'm here on the weekend, and it started becoming a thing. So that's what I do now. And yeah, like I said, I know not everyone's favourite book. I mean, I posted like one of those, like a reel and a TikTok with one of those audios, like, you know, about recommending like your favourite book, and obviously I was like, The Alchemist. In my caption I literally said, I know this is not going to be for everyone, but I love it, so I will always recommend this. But I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. And like, I literally, some people wrote, I'd rate it a 6 out of 10, which was something, which is, okay, that's fine, that's your opinion. And then someone else wrote, this is literally the most ordinary story I've ever read, it didn't even deserve my time. And it's like, that's fine. That's fine that you feel that way, but I literally said in my caption, I know this is not for everyone. Okay, just why? Why? So yeah, so I got a feeling it's gonna be worse than those things that people wrote on like that real TikTok that I had. So yeah, let's just get into it. Let's just get into it and see. First of all, there's like 2,667,929 ratings of this, and there's 103,367 written reviews. Obviously, a good chunk of those will be not great because the average rating is 3.9, but we're not going to do that many. I'm just going to do a select few, otherwise this is going to be like an extremely long video, and I don't want this to be a long video. You know, we're going to go ahead and just let's go to the reviews. But yeah, let's just go for it. And I'm going to take screenshots, obviously blank out people's names because I'm not going to put them up in here, but you will see the review next to me as I'm reading through it. Wow, this is a long one. Okay, okay, we'll take, this is a 1 star review, and I'm not going to read through all of it because it is a long review. Okay, so my heart and I chatted and we agreed this book was short. My heart thinks it's also stupid, and after spending some time talking to the wind, I came to agree with my heart. That opening line of this review is making direct fun of certain quotes in The Alchemist. Like, I mean, 1 star, your opinion, but I have to say, I have to give props to this person because that was genius. That was a genius way to like write a review. Let's see what else they say about my favourite book. Yeah, after beginning the journey of this book, and despite the words of my heart, something impelled me to continue. Surely it had something to teach me. The book had a lovely cover, made of nicely textured stock, and that felt good in my hands. It offered the added efficiency of a fold-over flap, something that more publishers should make an effort to do, as it makes the use of a bookmark superfluous. But I suppose he needs the collateral of winning the Guinness World Record for most translated book by a living author. I didn't know that. And selling more than 65 million copies in more than 150 countries as one of the most best-selling books in history. They put little asterisks, my heart cries, to get that treatment. In my country, we have an expression, one should not judge a book by its cover. In this case, this is especially true. The prose turned out to be not nearly as nicely textured. That is irony. The book knows not of irony. Still though, I needed to complete my journey. My heart tugged on my sleeve. I want to try and pick up some. I mean, they go on, and I mean, they put some effort into this review. I have to give them props to that. Even though they didn't like it, I feel like they've written that review so well that how much they hate it that I have to give their review 5 stars. I have to say. It pains me, but I have to say. Okay, we have a 2-star review now. I really dislike this book. Straight to the point. Good. I dislike it in a way that I dislike a great deal of modern self-help books, but it's not a self-help book, it's fiction. Their basic message is that if you want something to happen, you need to want it as hard as you can without caring about anything else, not allowing yourself to doubt it or let criticisms will get in the way, then it will happen. I disagree with this notion, not only because it's false, but because it's bad. Just because we desire something does not make it good. The idea of following your heart is often wrong. Who are we to be the arbiters of truth? Why should our hearts be sources of information that go beyond logic, doubt and reasoning? Haven't we all desired things that have turned out not to be in our best interest or to be harmful to others? Andrew Jackson was a man known to have a lot of integrity. He always true to himself and followed his heart. Andrew Jackson is the man who initiated the Trail of Tears, moving Native Americans from their homes and into reservations. Okay, it keeps going on. I'm just scanning through this review and it's just basically comparing to society, and it doesn't really pull out points of what's wrong with the book specifically. So, okay. I feel like people who don't like this book write quite a bit of a review. Like, you know, that's what it feels like. Okay, so 2 stars. I feel like everyone loves this book, but I was kind of underwhelmed. Fair enough. It happens with hype books. That's a fair enough point. I know that translation affects the quality of writing, but I could not get into this writing style at all. It's another valid point. If writing style doesn't suit everyone, that's fine. I feel like it was totally affected and contrived. He was going for this fable parable style, but it seemed to fail miserably. The parable-like quality was totally contrived, and I thought the moral was pretty stupid. Okay, moral. Everything you want and need is close to home. Take chances, follow your personal legacy. Okay, it keeps going on, but I feel like they've made that, in that first section, they made a few valid points. Writing style's not going to agree with everyone, and sometimes hyped books just don't live up to hype for certain people. Valid points. And they did say contrived quite a few times. 5 stars, 5 stars. Oh, okay, got a couple 1 stars here, guys. This one is a much shorter review, thankfully. Utter drivel is how this one starts. The book was badly written, righteous, condescending, preachy, and worst of all, the ending was morally questionable. Did we read the same book? Because how was the ending morally questionable? I personally don't think it was badly written, but again, it's down to personal preferences, but morally questionable? Like, what? All the fables and stories are stolen from elsewhere, religious ideas and spiritually are badly mixed, and everything is so obvious. The book harps on about tapping into the soul of the world, the language of the world, about your one true path and other nonsense. The basic idea is that if you really want something and listen to your heart, the whole universe will help you to achieve it if you only look for omens. A questionable idea in the world where people no longer want to work hard and achieve independently. It reads like a really bad self-help book written for 8-year-old children and disguised as a symbolic parable. I read a lot of books and I can safely say this is the worst book I have ever read. Its only saving grace was that it was mercifully short. Wow, they tore into it. They tore into my favourite book. That's funny though. I find this review a little bit funny. But I don't understand where the morally questionable part is coming from. There's some comments. Okay, let's have a little look at the comments, because sometimes I feel like people's comments are like great as well. Somebody wrote, I was going to write a review, but it seems you've plucked from my mind everything I was going to say. Wow, people don't like this, really don't like it. Great review, the man can't write. I mean, I've not read any of his other books, but I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the writing style. Personally, enjoyed it. Totally agree with you, couldn't have said it better to myself, right on point, thought it was just me. Somebody wrote, whoa, that's a harsh review, which I agree. You do realise that this is translated right, which I think that's a good point actually, because I do wonder sometimes with translations if you fully get what was said in the original language. Yes, I would like to know, anyone who is a Portuguese speaker, and if you've read this, tell me, like, how is it in Portuguese? But I don't know if everyone likes him, but I like the book. But that was a funny review, guys. They really tore into it. Okay, another 1 star. Let's go for it. The problem with this book is not just that it's bad, which it certainly is, but there are so many people out there who want to corner you at parties and tell you how it's totally changed your lives. What parties are you going to that people are cornering you in the corner trying to convince you to read The Alchemist? Like, No one's ever said to me in my life, you should read this. I've said to some people, look, I've really enjoyed it, I recommend. I know it's not for everyone, because I know it's not for everyone, but like, what parties are you going to that's happening to you? Like, anyway, in a way you might as well read it just so you see how feeble-minded they must be to get any kind of philosophical nourishment out of this inexhaustible stream of cliches. Thanks, appreciate it. The profound lessons you will learn from this book amount to nothing more than several variations on the theme of only the very ugly is truly beautiful, only the very stupid are really intelligent, only black is white, only up is down, etc, etc. Okay? The writing is too simple to be really bad, but it's the content that gets you. By the end of the book, you'll want to track down the Philosopher's Stone yourself and carefully beat Coelho to death with it. Oh, I should do this more often and read bad reviews of books I like, because some things that people write are so funny. I love this. Somebody wrote, I guess you go to the wrong parties. Winky face. Yeah, what parties is this person going to? So, I'm not one to be impressed by Coelho's pseudo-philosophy, but The Alchemist was kind of fun when I read it back in high school. Despite the fact that it contains arguably the most insane bull ever put down on the paper, when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it, I could still find myself laughing at most of it rather than shaking my head in disbelief at the thing's popularity. I gave it 4 stars and can't find a thing in your review that I don't agree with, which makes me question my rating abilities. As a side note, I don't think Goodreads' new policy allows to fantasize about beating up authors with imaginary philosopher's stones anymore. Such a shame, really. It's the fact that this person's like, I agree everything what you said, but I gave it 4 stars, and I'm now questioning how I rate my books. Love that. Okay, let's find another 1-star review. I feel like the 1-star reviews are the best, but this one says, spoilers and bitterness ahead, to be forewarned. So I'm not going to do that one, because there'll be spoilers in case after watching this video you do want to read it, so I'm not going to do that. 3 stars, 5 stars, another 1 star that's in Arabic. Why are these like always so long, these reviews? Okay, I'm going to do a couple more. This is 1 star. Let's just screenshot the whole thing. Okay, my father recently sent me an email offering to buy me a book as a birthday present and asked me if there was something in particular that I wanted. He does this pretty much every year, and every year I'll send him suggestions and he'll reply, I saw your list, what about these other books that I loved and that I think you should read? Okay, I'm paraphrasing, but you get the idea. It was after one such conversation that I ended up with a copy of The Alchemist. Okay, so they got a gift they didn't want. When I had rather clearly expressed my desire for something else entirely. To be fair, my father's taste is not always terrible. He introduced me to Christopher Moore, for one thing, but very often he hits awkwardly far from the mark in his attempt to convert me to his literary tastes. Okay, before I go on, but I can see maybe, you know, having books forced on you, I can see why you probably have an instant, I'm not gonna like this because you're forcing this on me, we don't have the same taste, so I can see. The Alchemist is painfully representative of his style, and this recent interaction led me to realise how ironic it is. Dad likes his books poetic, inspiring, challenging, but not too much. And the most annoying part is that he's very earnestly feels inspired by the sort of sentimental drivel that he persists in peddling at me. I'm too literal minded to be affected as he is by books like this. I understand he just wants me to listen to my heart, go after my dreams and do things I'm really passionate about, just like the book. His intention is really good, but the ham-fisted delivery, full of unrealistic and impractical advice, is just painful. This book is an unsuitable, preachy new age story about a Spanish shepherd. I'm going to stop there because I feel like this is going to go a little bit spoilery. I'm going to stop there because it's started going slightly spoilery and I don't want to ruin it for people. But okay, fine. Their story made sense where they're going with it, but like, you know, you don't have to write a whole story. Just say, look, my dad always, you know, asks me each year for books, a list. I tell him, he always ends up pushing books onto me that he reads. The Alchemist was one of those ones. That could have been written so much shorter. It could have been written shorter. Okay, I'm going to do one last one because otherwise it's going to be a really long video, like I said. This is a 1-star review, and thankfully it is not a super long one like the other ones. So that's the last one, okay. The Alchemist has been translated into like 1 million languages, and it feels like it. Bland sentences, simple storytelling, and zero nuance. It's a quaint parable about a shepherd who bucks the current course of his life, shepherding, to go in search of his personal legend. Quayle's got a point, and he's going to drive it through your eyeball until he's absolutely sure that you've got it. If you ignore much of the language of the book, this is a paper-thin rehashing of Rand-like individualism. Atlas shrugged the fountainhead. I've never even heard of that. No one can show you your way but yourself. Step out on your own and you are invincible. But all the trappings of this moral story are mystical platitudes. Good luck shines on those who are following their personal legend. Omens are the language of the world. Learn to read them is communicating with the soul of the world and the hand that wrote it all. All things are one. Listen to your heart. It speaks in the language of the world. I'd rather read Siddhartha. I personally, my favourite line of this was, he's going to drive it through your eyeball until he's absolutely sure you've got it. This was fun. I would love to read more of these, but otherwise this is going to be a super long video. But it feels like the people who love the book, like me, really love it. And it seems a lot of them push this onto other people. Like I say, I do recommend this, but I always say I know it's not for everyone, which I feel like the people who love it don't normally say that. And then the people who, like in these reviews, who don't love it, really don't like it. Like, they really don't like it. But there were some funny quotes in there, but a lot of them were just, you know, I feel like saying to them to get to the point of your review, because you hate it, just get to the point rather than writing all these pros and like trying to make it all sound fancy. Just get to your point that you hate it. Okay, that's it. This was fun. I feel like, yes, if you want to see me reacting to any other books that I've like read, if you see me reading them, please let me know. I think I might do an opposite one of these where I react to 5-star reviews of books I hate, because that would be amazing to see the opposite side of it as well. But yes, this has been fun. Thank you so much for watching. I am posting every single day up until Christmas if you're watching this in December, so there's lots of content. Hit that like button, it really helps. Please leave a comment if you have ever read The Alchemist and what you think of it, or have you ever read bad reviews of your favourite books and what you thought about it. Hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss anything, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye!